Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're having a spectacular day. We are waiting on Gertie's Crowdcast to start. It starts in about 3-ish minutes. It's set to start at 6, but I figure while we're waiting on her to get going, I'll talk about kind of what I've been working on. So I just finished a new project. This is the Grace Bodice with a double circle skirt underneath. I am very proud of her. She is quite lovely. And I cannot wait to wear her this weekend. She's like the epitome of spring for me. I'm also wearing the study hall dress that we just did a crowdcast on. That one is private for her Patreon people, but I was very excited to wear it because we were talking about it, and it's got like massive pockets, like really deep pockets. This is the shorter, like true mod 60s style, and I've also got something over here on my table, which is something for berry picking. It is the picnic dress or picnic top with the Stanwick skirt, so it'll have buttons that go down the front, and this was actually made from a tablecloth. So I'm very excited to maybe get the chance to wear this out and about this weekend. Fingers crossed. But we'll go ahead and get into her room. So let's go. All right. Let's go say hi to the folks in her chat. Hello from sunny Central Florida, if I can type. We rep Lake County in this house. Gosh, I am so excited for this. It's one of her newest charm patterns, and as you can probably maybe guess, it's based on an iconic garment from I Love Lucy, and I'm sure she's going to talk a lot about the historical representation for this piece, but I really kind of wanted to share this little bit of this passion with you guys. I absolutely love this thing, and I'm already picturing like all the multitude of ways that I could change this pattern into something super versatile. Like, it's designed to be worn over something else. Like, it's not a full dress on its own. Except, could it be? Could you put buttons all the way down the front? Could you add like a bishop sleeve for a super femme fatale robe? Could you make it sleeveless? Could you change the front pieces to where they'd have long straps and crisscross, like a beach cover up? Like, this is endlessly cool. You could take the most boring outfit and amp the style to 11. I'm so excited for this thing. I want to make a spiderweb version so badly. I have so many modifications planned for this beauty. Oh, yeah, I fail at typing. I'm too excited. Modifications, correction. Someone else is planning a Halloween one too? I was already thinking it would be great in a spiderweb print for Halloween over like
welcome to
a purple
the Crowdcast for the Lucy Hostess gown. Okay, so first of
Yay,
all,
Gertie!
can you see me and can you hear me?
We can see you.
I just did another Crowdcast for Patreon and we had some technical issues, so I'm a little nervous. Yay, okay. So I see it's working. Yay, I'm triggered now.
She had some technical issues with the first one.
And apprehensive.
Oh, hi, Lynette. Thank you.
We just need to do 2 tonight, which I'm very excited about. So 2 Crowdcasts in a row. We just did one for patrons.
Oh, thank you, Christy.
And now this one is open to the public, so I hope we have a lot of new people here. And this one is for the Lucy Hostess.
All the crazy sleeve possibilities.
We just released recently from Charm Patterns. So tonight I'm going to be taking you through my inspiration for this pattern, some of the historical background for the pattern, and some behind the scenes peeks on how we develop things here at Charm Patterns.
Let me move
So thank
my
you for
chat
everyone who
spot.
joined me in the last one, who continue to join me in these crowdcasts, and thank you for everyone from Team Charm who is here tonight, because I know we have some people on the team who are here, and this truly was, as all of our
Love
patterns are,
this.
a group effort. So I'm excited to tell you a little bit more
I
about
love
how
Lucy.
we make our patterns. So first of all, if it's your first crowdcast, I do hope that you will
Not my
introduce yourselves
first.
in the chat. But I also want to show you some of our features here. So this is a live stream platform, but it has some special features, one of which I really like is the polls. So if you go over to the side of your screen, you should see some little icons, and one is a poll. And I'm going to ask you, is this your first crowdcast?
You know what's funny is I don't. Oh, it's over here.
So I'm just always curious.
Oh, clips. You can clip things. Oh, she's in trouble.
It's an easy one. We'll start you off easy.
Nope.
So is this your first crowdcast? Okay.
Not our first.
So if you're joining us for the first time, I really want to hear from you in the chat as well. So this is a really friendly group. Introduce yourselves. Let us know where you're
Yes, we are absolutely friendly. I got featured in one of her magazine last year for Halloween. So if you want to see the pictures from that, shoot me a message. That was a lot of fun.
You have to stay hydrated.
Yes, we have our drinkity drinks.
Okay,
Grab your drinkity drinks.
We're about 9%. This is your first crowdcast, and 91%. This is not your first crowdcast. So, all right. So we have a few newbies, and I want to get to know you all. So please don't be shy.
Blowhole blast. Gamer subs.
Tell us what you're drinking in the chat. Just water. Cherry lime La Croix. Oh, that sounds good. Coffee and water. See, I like a selection of beverages myself. Hello from Stirling, Scotland. Oh, Ashiko. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And she's drinking tea. They are drinking tea. Sorry, I don't know your pronouns. Welcome, Sam.
I love that she respects pronouns.
Water, tea.
She herself came out and identified as a queer business owner last year. So
Olga from Barcelona,
we love Gertie.
Drinking a Coke Zero. My people, fellow Coke Zero addict. Okay, everyone. So now that we know what we're all drinking, the other thing I want to tell you about is the Q&A. I see that there are already 6 questions in there.
Oh, they're questions.
This is a really nice feature on Crowdcast, and this is the
tips on working with fiddly fabrics. Oh yeah, I know that one. You can dip those in gelatin.
Really nice for these little features. I'm not a spokesperson, just a happy customer.
Yeah, I can see it as a society dress, as a woven.
There's a Q&A on the side, and if you have a question about the pattern, especially as I'm talking, if something comes up you want to know more, you can enter your question there, and then anyone who's watching the replay, because this will be recorded and available to watch anytime.
Let's see.
You can actually go to the timestamp for the question and see my answer to it. So it's a nice feature. It also helps me because if you ask a question in the chat, I will probably miss it because I'm going to be giving a PowerPoint, which is the heart and soul of these crowdcasts is the PowerPoint. So I'm going to be giving a little presentation here on the Lucy Hostess gown. And
we're about to get an education.
All the vast historical inspiration for the Lucy Hostess gown. So I'm excited to get right into it. Are you guys ready?
We're so ready.
So I feel like you guys are always very sweet to me, and you get real hyped to see a PowerPoint when you probably look at PowerPoints all day for work or something, but you get really excited, probably because it's about sewing and fashion. You're ready. Yes, it's about to be epic. It is going to be iconic. PowerPoint. Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, this is where of course we're nerds. Nerds unite.
I have to.
If I could type. If I could type.
I've got this.
Like ever.
I'm going to share my slides. I'm going to see this. Yes, I want to show this.
And this is why I talk and not type. I usually use voice to text, but because I am streaming, I cannot do that.
Gertie did it.
Go, Gertie. Go, Gertie.
Welcome to my PowerPoint. So what you should be seeing now is the PowerPoint large and then tiny Gertie on the side of the screen.
Tiny Gertie.
Okay, strong tech savvy woman. Okay, everyone, meet the Lucy Hostess gown. And 2 of the versions that we made, which I'm going to be talking so much more about all of these versions that we made for the photo shoot.
I want to.
Oh, okay, so the first
all right, just
thing
the
I
line
like
art.
to do is talk through some of the line art, because I feel like that gives you a really good sense of what the pattern is, or the bones of the pattern, as they say. So this one is pretty much the one that I'm wearing, illustrated in a nice sheer tool, a dotted tool. So you can see that this is sort of an over garment, right? It's meant to be worn over something else. You can see I'm wearing it over a Jane set tonight, and made entirely sheer. This is a long gown with a midriff.
Oh, Ravina had the same comment as me.
The midriff closes by hooks and eyes. So it has an opening at center front, and then joins, butts next to each other and joins with hooks and eyes. There is a little sort of guard, what do we call it? A hook and eye guard that goes underneath it. And then the bodice has set-in sleeves, a high neckline. It has a really beautiful keyhole feature on the neckline.
I like the idea of rotating the piece out and then having it crisscross across the front to be sleeveless.
You can see the shiny side, the sparkly side.
You tied your bow wrong, Gertie. Anyway. We caught you slipping in the turning lane.
Quarter sleeve with ruching, and it's actually elastic ruching. I don't know if you can see on my sleeve here, but it's channels of elastic that get ruched up, and I love this detail. What else can I show you? Okay, so a gathered skirt that is floor length. And then on the back, you can see gathers above the midriff and cut on the fold, so no opening at the back, long gown. And here are some of the other design options that come with the Lucy Hostess gown, because at Charm, we always like to give you interchangeable options to make different looks. And I knew
you should probably use like swimwear elastic for that.
Because while this version is fabulous, maybe you want something that you can wear every day as well. So this one on the left, you can see looks more like a day dress,
the idea.
Right? So it is still, it has a slit up the front. So it tended to be
a shortened, gathered one rather than the cutaway.
So this is a flared skirt, same bodice, short sleeve.
But that's just me.
Without that ruching detail. And this one has a slightly different neckline. It has binding around the neckline that then extends into those.
But if it wasn't opaque, then you could make it like a literal as a way to like change the look of a dress, like give a dress multiple ways to wear it, like to restyle it
entirely, and just have a keyhole and the band collar and close it with a hook and eye. So this is the short sleeve and the long skirt, which I really like this combo. Or you could do that long ruche sleeve with the shorter skirt, and this one has no collar and just has bias binding around the keyhole and around the neckline.
Makes good sense.
And so here, these are pages from the instructions, by the way. So we always give you a page where we show you all of the elements separately, so you can start to imagine how they.
I like to take these in paint to reimagine them all together and then dump it into Lunapic and then fill it with my fabric, and like the actual print I'm going to use to get a visualization of what it's going to look like.
Sorry. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how
I like that, like
some of the other features in the instructions booklet. Okay. So we'll get to that.
I see plans of adding a collar.
Inspiration for this garment. So it's called the Lucy Hostess gown. Of course, it was named after Lucille Ball, who wore this fabulous hostess gown in the TV show I Love Lucy. And this garment, so you can see, was worn over a jumpsuit. It has this really
totally gonna have to do that for a super vampy look.
Rhinestone midriff. The ruche sleeves, are you seeing?
Might pull it off
the long gathered skirt and the opening up the front
patio dress.
Okay, so she wore this design on
Jiffy,
one of the most iconic episodes of I Love Lucy. It is where William Holden guest stars, and she has this whole bit with melting her prosthetic nose. It's a whole thing. You got to watch it.
I love this show.
The thing about I Love Lucy is they repeated costumes a lot. So you see it several times throughout the series. And then also, once she wore this black one, she also repeated this silhouette, and we'll talk more about that. But here you can see her wearing a similar hostess gown with pants underneath. And this was from the movie Forever Darling. Am I getting that title correct? I think I am. So her costume designer saw that this what a great silhouette this was for her and continued to repeat it. And I love this color combination, this like periwinkle purple with the lime green.
Yes, amazing. That is spring personified. I love that we're having this dialogue.
Okay, so I had to share some of these sketches. So these are from Lucille Ball's longtime costume designer. Her name was Eloise Jensen. She made these amazing sketches, and she showed the silhouette several times for movies and for episodes of Lucy. So you can see, I want you to take note on this one of the appliques on the bodice, which are sort of growing up from the waist.
Yes.
Or maybe a border print. I'm not really sure how this is done, but I love on the yellow and black one how there's sort of an hourglass effect through the use of applique or print on the bodice. And you can see on these that these have a collar that Lucille Ball was really known for wearing too, that sort of popped up wing collar. So, and this one has some sort of like frog closures. I love this yellow and pink combo in the middle. I don't think you guys can see my cursor, can you? So I'm gonna have to be really clear about saying, okay, the one in the middle is a yellow and pink combo, and they always made sure to show a little peek of leg out the front of the hostess gown. And
you're right, they did it on all three sketches.
Closures. This one looks like it has a raglan sleeve and that popped collar again. And this one,
maybe the Elizabeth raglan.
Thank you for confirming. All right, so the one on the right, you can see there's a really interesting use of color blocking on this hostess gown.
Yes.
That sort of slate gray blue color.
Almost like a like chiffon over top of another lightweight fabric.
Embellishments on these gowns.
They were statement pieces.
This is Eloise Jensen with Lucille Ball, the woman. Oh, look, why did I have just a black? I don't know what happened in the middle there. I don't remember what's supposed to be there.
Whoops, technical difficulties.
If that's the only tech issue we have, I'll be happy. Okay, so on the left, we see Eloise Jensen and with Lucille Ball looking at some sketches together. And then on the right, so this is sort of what got the idea for this pattern percolating in my brain. I got this book of I Love Lucy paper dolls on eBay, and I shared some of the images.
I remember doing paper dolls when I was a kid.
Years ago now, I think. And one of them, I love this paper doll of that iconic hostess gown from the William Holden episode. And one of the resounding things that
William Holden, didn't they mention that celebrity's name in Mona Lisa's Smile? Like that was supposed to be the scandalous like celebrity that the teacher may have been having an affair with.
And here are some paper dolls with Eloise Jensen's original sketches. So on the left, this one here, the gray and pink.
Okay, I could see a Christmas moment out of that.
Because it is a hostess gown shape. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that means and what the hostess gown is exactly. It has that cutaway shape at the front. It looks like probably
they used to have
pants or something else underneath it. And then that little bow tie at the neck. It's really
exhibit
of the Black
Universal
right? Bow tie at the neck, the mid
Orlando with
here,
some of
and then
her
potentially
outfits.
a little keyhole.
Now it is a Hello Kitty store.
And here's Eloise Jensen's sketches here. And then again, oh gosh, this version is beautiful. This is like a floral. This actually inspired the red floral that Susie wore, which we'll talk more about that later. But I love, love, love this version, this long hostess gown with a pant underneath. And this one had like a bias binding detail. Again, the inspiration for one of our versions. So let's talk more about what the hostess gown is, where else you see it. It's not just I Love Lucy, believe it or not.
It was very popular.
Gown, I would say it was meant to be worn at home. right? It was something that the idea was that you don't see, Lucy out on the town wearing her hostess gown. It's something that she literally wears to hostess in, and it's an elevated garment, right? And so you're not just wearing your bathrobe, it's something that feels very comfortable and you look at home in, but it's taken up to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So the intent of this garment was to be worn lounging at home, but specifically also like having a dinner party. You would be wearing this, right? And structurally, a hostess gown is something that is worn over another garment, usually a pant.
So it's an outerwear
jumpsuit,
garment.
Or it could be another dress. But the idea is it has a peekaboo effect, right? At the hem is usually there's some sort of cutaway, or there's the slit up the front where you can open it up and have that drama.
Yes.
And then it has a bodice. Well, we'll talk about overskirts too. But usually has a bodice which has some sort of like closure here, sometimes the bow at the top. Okay, so we cannot talk about hostess gowns without talking about the Barbie Dinner at 8 edition.
Oh my gosh!
I think it was an early. Are there any Barbie fanatics in the audience?
No.
Will you please correct me? I think this was an early 60s Barbie. And this was her outfit. And it's
the Jane bodice.
Jumpsuit. It's so similar to the Jane set, which is our Charm Patterns jumpsuit that we pair our Lucy Hostess gowns with. So similar to the Jane set. And then this sheer gown worn over top. And so many people, when I released the Lucy Hostess gown, said, I had a Barbie like that when I was little. Who had an outfit like that? And here you can see the actual garments. This was actually a reproduction of the Dinner at 8 Barbie. But look at this cute little jumpsuit and
that is cute
hostess gown that goes over it. Isn't that Barbie fabulous? I mean, I just feel like I'm this close to being a Barbie lady who is just on. It just could happen to me so quickly, guys, where I'm just obsessed with getting, the Dinner at 8 Barbie original edition. Oh my gosh. Have you guys seen this new Barbie book? I'm sorry, I just saw Nikessa said, I can't believe Margot didn't do this look. There's a new Barbie book, which I bought it sight unseen, pre-order, that's all about Margot Robbie's outfits that she wore on the press tour for Barbie and their inspirations. It's amazing. Okay, moving on. I gotta stay focused. Okay, more hostess gown inspiration. So, like I said, not just Lucy. These, you saw it in magazines. I love this version with the little short capri pants underneath. The cover of
I like that one. The yellow
hostess gowns. This was 1962. So you see it, more from that 50s I Love Lucy look into a 60s look. Okay, Lana Turner. I know this technically is not what I said a hostess gown is because doesn't have a closure here. But I can't remember what movie this is from, but I remember watching it and just feeling like it so quintessentially with this jumpsuit felt like the vibe of the hostess gown. So I had to include it.
Okay, that's fair.
And then you'll also see some short versions. So this was what inspired my shorter version as well, with little capri pants underneath.
Oh, that one could almost be an actual whole dress.
Collars. And then the opening on the front of the skirt. Some of them had removable overskirts. And then this one you can see was, sorry, my progressives aren't kicking in here. Photo plays pattern. It's a pattern. It's a sewing pattern, guys. But you can see it's worn over a dress here. And then so many great photographs.
Oh, I love that black one.
A dress. It's really a dress over pants, right? Okay, let's be real about what it is. And it's very much
those ruffles.
American sportswear for me too, like Claire McCardle, Tina Lesser, those designers of the American look. This sort of casual sportswear look.
I even have a pair of black and white striped
I got a little fast
Jane
for what I was
pants.
considering a hostess gown in the presentation, because there's so much. So if we just think about this idea of a glamorous skirt over pants, there's so much inspiration to be had. This is a Modus
God, why do I
ad,
suck
which
at
I think
typing
was
so hard?
Maxi Pads. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they had these sort of glamorous ads. And then, oh my gosh, this one in the center, which had gingham with like reverse applique on the pajama underneath. Sometimes these we call hostess pajamas too, just so you know. And then this one on the right, this
not to be confused with her Hostess loungewear set, which is a Patreon pattern.
Purple, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. And then these are my sketches for the Lucy Hostess gown. So as you can see, the one on the left is that iconic dotted tulle version, the one I'm wearing now. So I really wanted to show the silhouette underneath, right? Because again, I always thought of this being paired with the Jane set, which is I'm going to talk more about that, but that is our strapless, strappy jumpsuit pattern from Charm. And I always thought it was like the perfect foundation for a hostess gown.
Yes.
So you can see a Jane set underneath 100%. There with a slim leg. And then it has, the ruching. A lot of the details really stay the same. Sometimes things develop as we're designing the pattern, but this one, I have to say, kind of
anchored itself and stayed there.
Really changed that drastically from the original intent.
Oh, someone had new questions.
Of course, I had to give her a little I Love Lucy sort of turban. And then here's the sketch of the shorter one. And when I was sketching this, I was kind of imagining you could do lace appliques all over. There's so much you could do with it. And this one, you can see that there's a binding. Well, I don't know if you can see because it's really small, but there's a binding at the neckline, and the binding continues into the little ties.
Yeah, I want that.
I was just joking in the last Crowdcast. I always look bummed in these photos, but these are behind the scenes.
Very much looks like the Society Road Pab.
Not camera ready. So I'm just gonna really quickly talk you through some of the changes that happened in the fit test. The first one, I do look bummed. Well, okay, so on the first one, we discovered that it needed to be a lot bigger because the hostess gown, I mean, I think this is what you all can get out of my bummedness from this photo, is that you can't just take a dress pattern and turn it into a hostess gown by adding
after 9 p.m. y'all. Yeah,
it's a totally different fit, right? Because a dress kind of like, you're just kind of like, and then you zip up the back, and then you don't need the same amount of ease. And especially with something like you're wearing it over a Jane set, and the Jane set has a built-in bra, it has boning, it has thickness on its own, right? So not only does the hostess gown need to have extra ease, it needs to.
Nikisa and I are soul sisters.
Underneath. So what we found was that there was no way I was going to get into the first draft of the pattern. But you can see here, version 1, I was feeling the fantasy with the long skirt. You can see, I love a gown moment. More bummed faces. So this is the first, and if we do a fitting, we always make sure that I'm wearing the same undergarments. And if it's a garment like this that has to be worn with another garment, it's the same garment every time, right? It's like when you do a scientific experiment.
Yes.
You want to keep those, what do you call it? The
control.
The factors, not the factors. Anyway, someone who's a scientist, tell us in the chat. The control group. Thank you. The variables. Thank you. So you have to keep all of those the same so that you don't keep getting a different result.
I love my people.
Oh, look at all the science people in the chat. Thank you. I am a strong, independent, tech-savvy woman, but I am not a science-savvy woman, so I appreciate that. We all make the same face. Well, we also,
my sister-in-law is a research scientist.
So getting these photos. So I apologize for my stank face. Okay, so anyway, I want to get through these quickly so I don't have to look at my dumb face anymore. Okay, so you can see I can get it on in version 3. We did find some things that we did through Fitwise.
Be
you can see that we were
to
getting
yourself.
some sort of like ballooning at the side. This always happens, I find, in the drafting process with gathers at the bust. You have to try it several times before you know exactly where to place those so that you're not getting puffing out at the side of the bust.
Fact check, Sandra. Do they have a sister we don't know about?
Sleeve, we'll do one long sleeve. We'll put one skirt on, take it off, and use the same bodice. We also were finding that the neck was really too big and it was kind of flaring out from the body. Here is the back.
The serious face.
So the back was a bit of a process too. You can see there's a lot of
blousing
at the top and really working to get the exact right amount of gathers and the correct placement of the gathers was something that we worked on throughout. Version 4. So you can see we're still trying to get rid of a little bit of that puffing on the side of the bust. I'm trying to see what else. Oh, where the seam. So this does have a midriff. So this midriff seam should be right underneath the bust, right? So figuring out where that should be. Version 4, still a little puffy on the back. Oh, this is the first time we were sort of experimenting with different ways of getting that ruched effect on the arm.
Oh, did they try the string? So it looks like string was used.
We tried a drawstring. So the string, you make a channel and then it goes in and out and then you can tie it in a bow, which is cute. I was like, I don't know if I want a little bow on every one of these. And so we ended up doing elastic.
I was just about to ask. Why in
this middle photo
direction?
I actually,
because
I'm like,
I was
check out this weird wrinkle
already
on my chest.
Wondering
so this was getting much closer. We were getting some diagonal, you know, we do
different
through the shoulders. We were getting some diagonal wrinkling, but it was looking pretty good at this point. And still a little bit of working with the underbust seam. Sorry. Version 6. I think this is the first time we tried elastic.
Cute. Lolita.
We went with less
the short version.
On the upper back.
And bows everywhere.
So anyway, that's just to give you a sense of
sort of
that we make.
a
some of the things
requirement
as we go through many versions of muslins on these designs. Is we're really looking with a magnifying glass. Okay, but I'm seeing a little bit of puffing at the back, a little bit under the bust. How can we change? You know, and there's a lot of back and forth between the
blue version there on the bottom left. This one is what she did for the cover of the winter magazine.
I shared before in one of these crowdcasts is that besides having a pattern sketch for every pattern, I also make sketches for the samples that we're going to make. So that the studio knows, okay, we have to make 2 short versions. One is in silk shantung stripes, and that's for Gretchen. Another is in red floral, and that's for Susie. And that's how those, you know, boring things like, you know, Google Docs.
I love the green and hot pink version.
There's a list of everything that needs to be made, and it's assigned to who's.
It's so strawberry.
So when I was just in like dreaming mode, I was like, I want to make every possible version I've ever dreamed of. And then you can see there's X's through some of them because they had to be cut, but I wanted to share all of them with you. So first of all, the one I was thinking of as sort of like, we call it the hero version, you know, the one that would be on the pattern cover. And actually, ironically, is not on the pattern cover, but it's the one that's, for me, it's the one that's closest to the inspiration, right? So I'm sorry, I know you can't see my pointer. The bottom row, second from the left, the black tulle version. So this one, the crossed out sketches. This one for me was the hero version because it is Lucy's version that we all know and love, right? So that was what I was considering the main version. We're going to do that in a dotted tulle. And then to the
Classic.
left of that, you can see
I will probably make my very first one in a white that I've got rescued from tablecloths because I've got quite a lot of it.
Photos of that later. And then if you go to the right of the hero version, you can see one. I was really excited by this idea.
I've got like a ton of it, so we'll probably play with this a little bit.
Upside down on the skirt, so kind of coming down from the waist, and right side up on the bodice, growing up from the waist, so that you get that hourglass effect from a border print. And so you can see here, I also put photos of the fabrics that I'm looking at. So, and often I will take the fabric and kind of apply it over the sketch so that you can see it. So yeah, the pink and chartreuse. Oh, what a saga. Okay, so the pink and chartreuse, this was a fabric that was in stock at one point at B&J. It's a double-faced silk Mikado. And I ordered it because I really fell in love with this idea of doing the Jane set in one side in the pink, and then the gown in the chartreuse side, and then having pink lace appliques on the gown to sort of call to mind the Jane underneath, very much inspired by Lucy's versions, right? But they were out of the chartreuse and hot pink. They did have a lilac and orange, which we ended up making in, which was fabulous too, but I was very bummed about that. Okay, so if you go to the upper right, another idea I had, inspired by one of Lucy's famous dresses, was to do a shorter dress in an embroidered organza with a scalloped edge. And instead of doing the cutaway skirt, I love to show sometimes how you can hack the pattern too, right? So you would use the scalloped
pattern hacking for the win
instead, like basically do a short version of the long skirt and place the scallops at the center front. And then you would see a L'Amour dress with a circle skirt underneath. We cut that one just for time, but there's an idea, right? Who's going to make that one? And then to the left of that lace and pink one, you can see a Liberty Roses print. So this is the upper row in the middle. So you can see that we made this one for Susie, the other model who modeled with me. This is intended to be a more casual day dress in cotton, a cotton lawn, with red binding around the bodice, and then a red midriff.
Oh, I lost
very
a follower.
Lucy inspired. And then upper row on the left in the stripes. Okay, so this was inspired by that like picture way back, model drinking a Coca-Cola. I was like, I need to have something in Dupioni stripes. So I found this fabric from, I think it was from New York Designer Fabrics, which we ordered from quite a bit.
Missed out.
Had these amazing like color combinations and striped shantung. And we already had this purple Jane set, so that ended up going underneath that one. We didn't have to sew another one. It can be a bit of a time crunch, so it was good having something on hand.
Always good to have extra pieces.
What happened to the border print? So that one got cut for time. So who's going to make a border print one? See, I'm just giving these ideas to you all now. We ran out of time, but please, will one of you please pick up the torch and do it? Okay, thank you. Emmy's going to do it. Okay, so now that you've seen the sample sketches, let's talk about the actual photo shoot. So this is probably, I think this is my favorite look we've ever done on Miss Susie.
That is a really good look. It really looks great on her.
Orange version. So this is actually a double-faced fabric. So someone asked on Instagram if this was lined in a different color. And no, that's actually the underside of the fabric, which is really cool. So it's a stretch fabric. So we were able to make the Jane set in it as well. So the Jane set is made in the orange side out, and then the Hostess gown has the lilac side facing out. You can see the orange underneath. And then I had to find the perfect orange lace. Okay, so
I think
I ordered orange Alençon
beaded
on
bridal
and the studio. I was not involved in this.
My sister-in-law's
many dedicated people
L'Amour wedding dress
cut out around the motifs of the lace and then it was applied by hand. So first you place it by hand onto the gown and pin it in place, and then it all has to be sewn on by hand. So this gown was truly a group effort. I will say on the day before the shoot, there was a literal sewing circle in here.
Bridal hostess gown. Yes.
Team members. There were probably 3 people working at the gown at the same time, sewing together, and it was so cute. It was really adorable. It is a work of art. Yeah, it is just, it's one of my favorite things that we've had her model. So here you can see the idea, and this is what I sketched, was to have the appliques kind of growing up in sort of like an hourglass configuration on the front. Let's go back so you can see the hourglass sort of placement, just like that Lucy sketch. And then on the back, just around the midriff, which I think is cool, and it gives it a very like negligee look to me. And then here's the hero version, which I'm wearing now. And this
I need a hero.
A tulle with flopped dots on it. So that's like a sort of velvet textured dot on top. This is very sheer. So now you get the sense of what this would be. It's very airy, right? So it doesn't, this feels like hardly a garment at all, whereas Susie's has more like presence. So this one is shown over a sort of ice blue Jane set capri version. And this one, so let me see if we got close.
Very Vixen Cinderella.
Back. Okay, great. So this is what I wanted to show you. So really echoing Lucy's version, we did little rhinestones. I have to tell you that this photo shoot was so all hands on deck. It was the day of the shoot when I was like,
I bet the light went all over the place.
I really wanted to. And Stevie, who does our hair, Stevie Rosalie, she loves stoning things. So she was like, I'll do it. And so after my hair was done, she was like applying rhinestones to the hostess gown. So this was truly a group effort. Thank you, everyone. I cannot thank this team enough. Everyone is so amazing and so passionate about what we do here. And here is the modeled garment. So you can see those little rhinestones, little AB Swarovski. It wasn't a Swarovski brand, I have to tell you, but they were AB stones, really beautiful. And then you can see the elastic.
Way to go, Team Charm.
Cool feature, kind of getting to see that channel of elastic in the sleeve.
I'm not a fan of this one.
Okay, so this is the silk striped Dupioni.
It looks a little too much like a saddle.
Cutaway. We recommend that you line that version because you're really, hopefully, part of the appeal is that you're going to see inside the skirt. And I really love this look where you can match your jumpsuit underneath to the lining on your hostess gown.
Way to go from gym to work.
On this pattern is to do the midriff in a contrast color. So match the midriff of your hostess gown to the garment you're wearing underneath.
There's a way to fix those. I can fix my typos. What the Florida? What the Florida?
And then the little necktie. Go from work to gym. Totally. Okay, and so here's a closer look.
I do like the rounded shape.
And so, yeah, you can see the gathers on the back and how the stripes kind of curve. It's a kind of cool look. Oh, and so hopefully you can see here, I'm using my cursor again. I keep doing that. Hopefully you can see here that this does not have a band collar. It's just the neckline that's finished with a binding. And then the binding is long, so it continues out past the neckline and you tie it into a bow. Does that make sense? And also the front keyhole is bound with the fabric to match your midriff. Okay, so I
like this one
over a garment other than a jumpsuit because it doesn't have to be worn with pants even. So here the lovely Miss Susan is wearing a Landis dress in red. So this is a three-quarter circle skirt. And you can see how that cutaway really shines on a full skirt with a petticoat underneath. And in this version, her midriff and her binding are in the exact same fabric as the dress underneath. So you get a whole
Yes,
ensemble,
I second that.
But you also have two garments, right? So you could wear the dress on its own. You could also make a Jane to wear underneath for a different look. So it's a capsule wardrobe.
Wardrobe extender.
Okay.
Unlocked.
So here is the Snow Queen version that we photographed
I don't want
for the cover of Vintage by Gertie magazine, which is a Patreon reward that we do here.
I loved that magazine.
Patty, of course, had to join.
I wasn't in that one. I was in the one before it, but I was really excited.
Her, I think. And so I'm wearing this icy blue Jane set under this version, as well as I was wearing it under the black. So that's another idea, is you can have one Jane set that goes with multiple Hostess gowns, because you need multiple. This fabric is really pretty. I got it on Etsy. It's tulle. It has a scalloped edge, and it's sequin embroidered snowflakes. And I think we did I think we did the scallop down the center front. We did not. We also did an article on the history of the Hostess.
And you can see some of the pictures were reused.
So this was written by Aubrey Bennett, who is our technical editor here at Charm, and she did an amazing job finding historical references to Hostess gowns and what they are. And there's so many great quotes in this article from fashion experts like Edith Head, and they're so funny. I mean, they're funny to read now because they're like, every woman needs a Hostess gown in a fabric to match her living room. And you know what I mean? It's just like, and this is obviously what you would wear at home. And one of the things that I took away from this article was that a lot of these experts really made a point of saying, this should not be something that you wear outside of your home. Like we see something like this today and we're like, oh, would you wear it to a red carpet? And I'm going to talk more about that later. But at this time, the idea was that it was like a dressing gown, but so elevated that the only place you could imagine wearing it was in your own home, where you are sort of like the hostess with the mostess in this glamorous role. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Queen's robes.
Okay, so I wanted to share a little bit more about our patterns and the instructions. So one thing that we always include is a croquis, which is a template that you can use to draw the different design elements on top of. So if you're not sure if you want to make a short sleeve version, you can actually trace the elements I showed you earlier onto there. Everything is the same scale,
but
and sort of start changing different versions. You can use colored pencils.
The top to
you can do all this digitally. It's totally up to you, but we really like you to be able to sort of take creative control. And then on
in the front,
the right here, this is, you can see we have all the pattern pieces laid out, and we also always tell you which ones. One thing that people always say that they like about Charm patterns is that we always tell you which pattern pieces, if you're going to finish them first, like with a serger, which ones you would do. Though with a sheer, like the Hostess gown like this, you probably want to do something like French seams, which we talk about in the instruction booklet too. Another thing that we always do in the instruction booklets is this take your garment to the next level section. So ideas, and often this will be things like, oh, I wish we had time to make this version, but we don't.
Bridal buttons.
So one thing you could do is use bridal buttons. So those tiny little buttons, sometimes they come on tape with the button loops.
I'm making a bridal version.
And this one, what if you made like a boudoir version, right? So like in a sheer tulle or net with marabou around the bottom. I wish I could do this. I'm definitely
what she said.
Marabou, so I won't be making this version, but I want one of you to do this too. And then here, so lace applique or sparkle, we did these in the samples, right? So this is actually a great illustration of how we laid out the appliques on Susie's gown. Okay. So one of the questions I got about the Jane set, or not the Jane set, about the Lucy Hostess gown is what is the best garment to wear with it? And so I just really briefly want to take you through some ideas of other charm patterns that you could pair with the Lucy Hostess gown. So, of course, the most obvious answer here, and the one that I really intended the Lucy Hostess gown to go with, is our Jane set, which is one of the first patterns that I released with charm patterns. It's a very sexy strapless, or you can make straps to go with it. It does include a halter strap and shoulder straps. A stretch jumpsuit. And this is the absolute perfect thing for going under your hostess gown. Very much an I Love Lucy look. If you are looking for other things that might go under it, the L'Amour dress is a great starting point too, because there's some, the most basic version of the L'Amour dress. Of course, there are
my Batwing Lana dress was my piece de resistance in her magazine.
A princess seam strapless bodice, which would look amazing under the hostess gown. This looks great with the 3/4 circle skirt, which, as you saw in Susie's red floral version, is a great match for the short skirt. The Lana dress is another nice choice from Charm Patterns. I would do the version without the petals. I think probably what you're going to hear me saying is that you're looking for patterns that don't have too much, I was going to say structure, but structure is good, but more like structural design elements. The Lana dress has that petal bust. You can make it without the petals. So for wearing underneath the hostess gown, you'll probably want a version that doesn't have so much built up at the bust. Other ideas, hear me out. Make this into a poolside swim cover up and wear your Esther suit underneath. What if you made it in like a terry cloth and made a matching turban, for instance? I don't know, just throwing out ideas. Just a few ideas for you. I think that would look amazing. Also, a romper would look great underneath. So the one in the middle here, this is the Landis bodice, which we released on Patreon.
I love the Landis.
So this would be.
I haven't made the Esther yet,
version or the long version,
or the Maria.
Now, if you're thinking all these are great, but I don't really wear strapless dresses, the Maria dress, another interesting idea. You could do the short sleeve version and wear it under an opaque hostess gown with a short sleeve. Or you could make the Maria dress sleeveless and then wear it underneath the hostess gown. Either version, I think, would look really cute. Okay.
I love the Gina bustier.
One-piece garment underneath your hostess gown. The Audrey cigarette pants, which we did for Patreon, are the perfect slim, stretchy silhouette to go under a hostess gown to give you that I Love Lucy look. Of course, you'll want to pair it with something on top, unless you have a really opaque fabric. So you could do something like the Landis bodice or the L'Amour bodice made into a bustier and wear that on top, or something like our Gina bustier would look great. So those are just a few options. Also, I wanted to talk about modern inspiration. So this is the last thing I have to, well, one of the last things. I'm going to try to wrap this up because I know I've been talking for a long time. The Night and Day deserves better. Yeah, okay, so Night and Day is also a good choice. So this has become a really popular red carpet look. Remember how I was saying earlier that, in the days of I Love Lucy, a woman would never wear something like this out of her house, let alone, certainly not on the red carpet. This has now become a really fabulous modern red carpet look. And I found so many examples, I couldn't even share them all. This one I love. This one looks very vintage to me. Elizabeth Banks in the middle wearing this fabulous hostess gown. Shea Coulee, one of my all-time favorite drag queens on Drag Race. She wore this to her season finale. This one has an embroidered fabric, which I think looks amazing. Lady Gaga, how could I resist? I will also say there's something sort of subversive. You see, there's something
I like that version
about this for some looks. J. Harrison Gee, non-binary actor who I've talked about.
Very nice, very nice.
I was so obsessed with their performance in Some Like It Hot, and we ended up designing a dress here inspired by this character. But when they won
Both my dogs
Tonys,
were asleep at my
wearing
feet.
a pant with a gown over top. Janelle Monáe. Speaking of subversive, I love her tuxedo looks. And then this one especially. I'm just sort of like, I just want this to percolate with you all, okay? There's so much you can do beyond I Love Lucy with this idea. And then I had to talk about Whoopi Goldberg, who wore a very Lucy-inspired hostess gown to the 1993 Oscars. And it has gone down in
It looks like a Brooklyn,
one of, like, the worst looks at the Oscars ever. I actually feel bad for her. She's talked about how she was very hurt by all the commentary on this look. I mean, I will say it's not the best hostess gown, and it doesn't fit her that well. But she did talk about how she was very inspired by I Love Lucy, and it kind of got people talking about dress over pants. But now everyone's doing it. So, and then I just wanted to wrap up by talking about
the book comes on May 28th. I'm excited.
A new book that's coming out in 2 months. So Gertie's Charm Sewing Studio. I'm telling everyone this book is like one of these podcasts in a book. So every chapter is sort of an exploration of a pattern that I've already designed and the history that went into it, the process that went into it. And so there's a chapter.
So the image here is what I used as the design for inside of my sister-in-law's wedding dress.
A ton of historical photos that took me so long to get and license and get permissions for. Excuse me. You can see the Maryland jeans. I talked about this ad on the lower left being an inspiration for that photo that we took of Susie on the upper right. Is this really the end of I'm ending with this slide? That's the end of my presentation. I always peter out at the end of a crowdcast, but at the end of a PowerPoint. But the point is, if you like this sort of conversation about fashion history and looking at pretty photos of vintage fashion, please order this book. And the other thing I want to say is that it comes with 3 new patterns, which are going to be PDF downloads in our full size range. So 2 through 20 and 18 through 34.
She is so size inclusive.
Through H cup sizes.
So size inclusive.
So I'm super excited about that size range. Death to tracing. So yeah, that's coming out May 28th. And I will be sharing more about that as we go. Oh my gosh. Thank you for coming to my PowerPoint. I'm not ending yet. I'm going to go to your questions. There are 10 plus questions, the Q&A. Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for being so engaged and lovely in the chat. Joe asks, tips on working with fiddly fabrics like satin,
soak it in gelatin,
etc. So yeah, some of these fabrics can be tricky to work with. I would say tulle is probably among the easiest because it can have a little bit of a stiffness to it, which makes it easier to cut and easier to sew. I would recommend looking into French seams because that's definitely, one thing is you want to make sure that your seams look really beautiful on the inside. If you're finding that your fabric is really slippery, one thing that I always recommend is using layers of tissue paper to cut it, because cutting is always the hardest part with some of these fabrics. So what we do here at the studio is lay out a layer of tissue paper on the table, then put down your fabric, and then put another. You may just get by with just the layer on your table, but you can also sandwich your fabric between 2 layers of tissue paper and then pin your pattern on top of that. And it makes cutting it so easy. If you struggle with things like charmeuse and you're getting those, wobbly lines when you're cutting, tissue paper makes such a difference. That is definitely my top tip for cutting those fabrics. Okay, so this is probably one of the most common questions we've gotten, and I have noted that it's been a common question. Hi, will there be an accompanying instructional video like you kindly supplied with the Maria dress? Pretty please with sugar on top. Okay, so the thing is, we have a lot of video that we are shooting.
That's the link to the book.
Because we are shooting, as you know,
that's the link to the book.
New video every month for Patreon. And also, we are working on 3 new full-length videos that are going to be hosted on YouTube and on the Charm site to to go with the book patterns. So when we were talking about what we had the bandwidth for in the studio video wise, we decided not to do the Lucy Hostess gown because it does come with illustrations, and I actually think it's one of our easier patterns to sew. So that said, if you run into any trouble, you can always email us, support@charmpatterns.com. You can also go to the Facebook group, Gertie Sew and Tell. People are so helpful on there. The Discord for the Patreon. There's a lot of places you can go for support. But I also am hearing your requests. I know that we don't have time to do it right now. I wish we had time to make.
Maybe she'll get a chance to go back and do it later.
We all want, and I know you want, but then we wouldn't have time to make patterns.
Facts. So patterns.
What's a pattern company to do? So
hire more people.
Your requests, and I hope that maybe someday we'll at least be able to put parts of it into a video or make it a shorter video. So thank you. I do appreciate your requests, and I hope that we will be able to make it happen someday.
Maybe just a quick video for French seams for beginners.
Angeline said, is it just me looking at the Lucy Hostess dress and thinking a slight bit of altering will give a society dress in woven? Yeah, I saw that question on Instagram too. I mean, the way I answered the question was, well, yeah, but then you would have to change this, this, and this, and then sort of like the things you would have to change, I thought became a really long list, because I'm assuming you don't want to split up the front. So you would have to change it to cut on the fold for the front. You would have to put a zipper somewhere else, so the back or the side. And then you would probably want to change the keyhole, change the neckline, change the fit so that it would fit in a woven. Or so that it would fit as a dress. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So it fit as a dress. You would have to remove a lot of ease. So I don't know. For me, it seems like there's a lot of like things that you would have to change first to get it to be like a society dress. But I also know that I see you all do amazing hacks of our patterns every day. So it seems like a lot of you are feeling this way. So I would say like, yeah, go for it. I can't wait to see what you do. You could certainly turn it into a dress if you removed ease and changed where the opening is. Poppers says, would you consider an expansion that advises how to add the Wayne collar? I love the colored version. Yeah, I mean, one thing I have been thinking
it will totally be a Patreon expansion.
People are interested.
Maybe we'll get it next month since this pattern is still new.
Vintage versions, there's so many different collars, different necklines, besides the keyhole band version. So yeah, I would definitely consider that. What, if any, other sleeves can be substituted? I'm remembering the fluttery pajamas in my man Godfrey. Well, this, because of the amount of ease in it, and it's a garment to be worn over other garments, it is not interchangeable with any of our dress patterns. So that said, you could, if you know how to do a little pattern drafting, you could make some changes to the sleeve. If you wanted a flutter sleeve, you could also adapt a woven, a sleeve from a pattern meant for wovens. And usually sleeves can be a little bit more flexible because they have ease in the cap, so you might be able to exchange or interchange.
Yeah, you would just have to measure the armhole and match up with the armhole.
But you would just need to walk them together, walk the armhole to the sleeve and see if it will fit. Sandra says, hooks always seem fiddly to me. Do you have any other suggestions for front closure? Yeah, I definitely, if you want something like a bridal button, would be really beautiful. Those little ball buttons.
Love that.
Would be gorgeous. You could also do a little zipper at center front, a separating zipper.
Oh, she posted
more questions about sleeves. Is there any reason we couldn't use the Patsy balloon sleeve or the Betty Bishop sleeve? There's no reason you couldn't, other than they weren't drafted to go together and we haven't tested it. So it's, I think that it could probably work, but you would just have to try it. So I would love to see it. And yeah, that's something that we might end up doing here. So give it a try, see if they fit. I would guess that they would, or would only need minor changes.
Hi, Taco. How are you? We are watching a Crowdcast with my favorite pattern designer. She's who I sew all my patterns with.
Fill in the keyhole detail.
She's about to wrap up.
Definitely could do. So when you look at the pattern piece for the center front, you'll see there's sort of like a
How are you doing?
for the keyhole.
Are you having a spectacular day? I haven't seen you in forever.
Curve from bottom to neckline, and then that would
I am so happy right now. So I finished a new project. I'm very pleased with the outcome. And I have a couple of other projects on my cutting table and ones that are nearly finished for berry picking season.
Let's see.
Oh.
Deborah says, can you share the yardage requirement for the longer and 3/4 sleeve version?
Yes. So it's a tablecloth. This fabric is a tablecloth. And it had a bunch of
you'll see a yardage
like raspberries and blueberries, and it's going to button up the front.
All different versions, and
it's going to be like fitted down through the waist.
Fabric you would need for 45 inches and 60
And then this is it's actually a top and a separate skirt.
Really running up on time.
And I'm very happy with that. Oh, and this is a new one I made this month too. It's a 1960s pattern with like a billion pockets. Like the pockets are huge. I could fit a dog in here.
But I don't want to keep you all night.
Like I want to make another one that's like waterproof on the inside and actually take it berry picking and just stick it in there.
Any possibility of projector files?
Yes to the projectors.
Okay, so I will be, as we get closer, I will be sharing sneak peeks of the new patterns. If you looked at the cover of the book,
my bestie got a ditto, and I'm
there's also
crazy for it
on each of them in the book as well. So I'm going to be sharing more of those as we get closer. And your projector file question is a great one too, and that's something we're really keeping an eye on. Every year when we do our survey, we ask how many of you are using projectors, how many
I use a projector. No more painting, no more printing and cutting.
The leap, but it's something that we keep talking about. And I would say if you're one of those people who is interested, definitely fill out that yearly survey. Make sure that you get on our mailing list on the Charm Patterns website so that you can make your voice heard. And then, yeah, I think that it's probably in the cards someday. It's just when it is a matter of time that it becomes something that's interesting to enough of our customers that it makes sense to do it.
I am already doing it, homegirl.
That was the final question. I want to thank you all so much for being here.
All right, I'll have to look at that. Claire Bradders. Who's Claire Bradders?
Polls are the heart of Crowdcast. Not really, but okay. I want to ask
Instagram.
If you want to make the shorter or the longer version.
I'll just so that way I remember to go look for that later. Oh yeah, the long version, absolutely.
So which version will you make first? You don't have to choose between both of them like forever.
Oh, I am committed to making this bridal version now.
Long or short?
It's going to be so gorgeous.
Okay.
It'll have sparkly applique, bridal front closures. Sumptuous.
So the other thing I would say is if you asked a question and I wasn't able to answer it, if it's something that you really want us to answer, like I said, support at Charm Patterns. Also, I really urge you to take advantage of the community here. It's such an amazing group of people who've come together through Charm Patterns. So there's a Facebook group called Gertie Sew and Tell. Through Patreon, we also have a Discord channel where people are connecting all the time.
I love that Discord channel.
People answer each other's questions, and I just am in love with the way
here to provide all of the inspiration.
Okay, long wins at 63% and short at 37%. Oh my gosh, everyone. Thank you so much.
I'm going to have to sew a new wedding dress. I mean, I'm already married. I love my spouse. Infectionary is the best. But
some of you for 2 Crowdcasts in a night. And I just love you all so much, and I love
we love you too.
And thank you all for watching and for supporting Charm Patterns. All right, everyone.
Great job.
See you next time. All right, thank you for watching.
Thanks for the sunshine. Oh, that is so awesome. All right, and someone in an earlier chat had brought up how the Victoria and Albert Museum had an exhibition on Mary Quant, because this month's Patreon pattern had been a 1960s mod dress, which I'm currently wearing. And they said that on their website here, if you scroll down far enough, all the way, you could download 2 free 1960s Mary Quant Georgie patterns that you could make your own patterns. It's easy. Well, let's walk over here real fast. So sew your own Mary Quant style mini dress, right? And that's the design there, and it's 100% free. Like if you like a shift style dress, this is completely free. It's got exterior pockets, cute little keyhole neckline. Clearly we're all about that. And oh yeah, two necklines. So you've got two a pointed collar here, and then a cute little cuff collar there. And it looks like, I haven't downloaded it yet myself, but it looks like we've got 2 size ranges, and you can print it on AO. AO is the 36 by 4, not AO. No, AO is a file format, and it's 36 by 48. That's something that you would print on a large scale printer, a large format printer. Places like copy shops would be able to print that for you instead of having to print and tape together, letter style pages. And they've got them there in the A4 US or AO files in both of those. And then the instructions are there. And then there's a video series. So if this is a dress that interests you, there is that there. And there was a second one over there too. So let's go back to it. And then there was also this one. And this one's a little bit different. But yeah, that's 2 free patterns. It has directions. This one is a little bit more like work friendly. It looks like it's a wrap style. And it's got a little bit of the history there on it. And here's where a number of different people have made it. It's really super cute. And it looks like there may not be a video for this one, but there are instructions. But if anything, if you decide to give this a try and you get stuck, you could always send me a message. You could send me a whisper, or you could just shoot me a message in Discord, and we'll go ahead and pop that Discord in there. If you ever want to talk about patterns, fashion, anything, you can always reach me there. I'm always willing to talk sewing, painting, cozy games. That's my whole thing. I'm actually working on creating a sort of about me video for my landing page for my channel. It's something I haven't done since I became affiliate. We're coming up here pretty soon on my 1-year anniversary, so we'll have to plan something spectacular for that. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to do something. Maybe I'll sew a whole outfit on stream. I don't know. We'll work that out later. But right now I'm still kicking around ideas. But I am going to be doing a sugar skull painting this Saturday. That will be at about 9 a.m. EST. I don't know what character I'm going to be making into a sugar skull. So if you've got a suggestion, absolutely, I want to hear it. Send it to me. Type it in chat. Do what you got to do. I want to know. I always want to keep my people that want to come in and see me happy. So there is that. But for the remainder of the time, we're going to switch over for a little bit and maybe play some Dreamlight Valley. Because today, hi, how are you? Are you having a spectacular day? Welcome into chat. Enjoy yourself a little bit of cozy time. We just finished watching the Gertie Hirsch. Oh, you changed your name. Hi, Katie. Did you get a second account? Did you get a second account so that you could talk with, like, is this one that you could use to talk with your friend that you're having some trouble with? Okay. Duly noted. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Sometimes I just don't know. But I don't really have any great advice for that situation. Fair enough, fair enough. We watched a Crowdcast on Gertie Hirsch and the Lucy Hostess gown. And let me pop that in there so I can show you what that was. Well, let's pop over charm patterns. The Crowdcast was specifically about this pattern and the history of this pattern. Exactly. That is a good attitude to take. And if they, are going to be childish about it, then you are clearly a better adult. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you like being in here. So they were talking about the history of this. I'm gonna leave the VOD will be up if you are interested in this. I know that's not why you specifically come here, but sewing is something that is very much a big part of who I am. I make all of my own clothes. You are not, but they definitely were. If they're still being all ish whatever. If they couldn't accept your apology, they are being childish. Not you. If I missaid that, that's what I meant to say. Oh, I'm about to play for a little while now, but I was watching a Crowdcast and I was kind of giving a live commentary on her Crowdcast of what she was showing. And I just wanted to keep track of and remember some details. I got suggested an Instagram account to follow based on things that I like to sew. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'll get to explore that a little later. Oh, you know what? While we're right here, let me just show you some of the stuff. Yes, I actually have already done all of that stuff because the event is a repeat from last year, but I am going to go ahead and redo it so I have eggs in stash. This was the painting I did for my Life Day celebration last year. I was very, very happy with the outcome of that. And this is kind of a better view of the dress that's behind me that I just recently finished. And this is just some general content. This is the dress that I'm wearing right now, actually. But yeah, we love clothing in this house. This is a channel that loves clothing, even if we do mostly stream games. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to Dreamlight Valley. Let me launch it first. Games. But we'll only play for a little bit because I still have to eat dinner because I've been watching Crowdcast since I got home from work. So I haven't done literally anything besides talk fashion for like 2.5 hours. Because she had a Crowdcast that I couldn't share because it was for Patreon members only, but the one that she did afterwards was public, so I felt comfortable streaming that one. Okay, while that's loading up, let's go ahead and switch our source. Let's change our category. Disney, Dreamlight Valley. And let's switch over to close up the browser. Let's go to game. And we're going to go from Palia to Dreamlight Valley. Let's see. Oh, and there was one new thing in the shop today. So I was kind of excited about that. I did already get it because I really loved it. Oh gosh, what was it now? I came home on my lunch and I saw it and I was very like amped up. Like, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing I want. Oh, and you know what? Let's go ahead and also... Oh no, I can't play background music since I wanted to record the background for this.